Hello, I am Jacquelyn Ekern and I'm the founder of Eating Disorder Hope. And this blog is about avoiding eating disorders in boys and developing an inner sense of self-worth in our boys. And I think to begin with, we need to recognize the pressures that boys face today growing up. You know, there are pressures to excel academically, in sports, to be popular, to fit in and have the right things that they may or may not financially have available to them. And that's just a few of the pressures. And when these kids grow up with all these external pressures, it is so helpful for them to know that their worth is not dependent on external things, not on their achievements, not on their accomplishments, not on what they have, or even how they look. Their inner worth should emanate from a sense of their own unique identity, their gifts and talents, that they are the only individual like themselves in the entire world, and they have a very special place in this world to contribute. And it's very important that we remind our boys of this as they go through those growing up years. It's fabulous to succeed and to be the best ball player or to have a lot of friends or get great grades. The problem just occurs when we have a tendency to emphasize that as the basis of the child's worth rather than who they are as a person, their character. So I suggest that this is a very useful thing to address when we think about boys and eating disorders. There's so many factors that contribute to the development of an eating disorder. We know that it is predicated by a genetic predisposition, followed by a host of environmental factors that can lead to a boy developing an eating disorder. And one of those factors could potentially be that they're trying to fit in, trying to look like the models they see in the news with a six-pack, or have girls like them and thinking that maybe being very lean is the way to do that. And our best bet for offsetting that is to give them a really strong inner sense of themselves and their worth. And this can be done by encouraging our boys to look deep within for identity, confidence, and to know their values and to live a life according to their values. I suggest that this is a powerful aid in offsetting eating disorders in boys. Certainly not the only answer, but I strongly recommend it. Thank you. Hi, I'm Jacquelyn Ekern, and I'm the founder of Eating Disorder Hope. And this blog is about balance in eating disorder recovery. And for many of us, I think we would agree, we have a desire to have a physical, emotional, and spiritual balance in our lives, but it's not so easy to create. It's very easy to get out of balance. And in fact, I would suggest that some of us developed eating disorders because of that lack of balance, as one of the contributing factors. Many of us that develop eating disorders have tendencies towards perfectionism, people-pleasing, and a tremendous sensitivity to our environment and feedback from others. And those can be very strong attributes, but they can also cause us to create an artificial self, if you will, to try to gain approval from others and to live up to some very high expectations that we may place on ourselves. And in so doing, a lot of us get out of balance. Often individuals with eating disorders have such a drive and are so capable academically, intellectually, in their careers, in their personal lives, giving hearts, so many wonderful qualities, but there is often a tendency to go overboard, to put in more energy than perhaps they have to spare. At least that was my case. And that's really what motivated me to write this blog, is that balance is something we all need in our lives. And once we are on the road to eating disorder recovery, it is a bit of a new chapter. And sometimes it means some sacrifice in what we originally thought we wanted in our lives. And what I mean by that is because of some of the personality traits that can lead to an eating disorder, we may have, as I mentioned, developed an artificial self that we're striving to become. And we may have to let that go. And it hurts, I know, because that feeling of this artificial self, idealized self, if you will, gave me hope in my darkest days. But in treatment and eating disorder recovery, we learn to embrace our authentic self and to be true to ourselves and to get clarity of our values and the kind of life we want to live. And what that may mean for us is it may mean letting go of some super achieving areas that were formerly really important to us, but now that we're striving to live a life of balance, we may realize that we don't want to give the time and energy necessary to. And what I want to encourage you most is that balance is possible, and even in ongoing recovery, we can step out of balance but move right back in when we catch ourselves focusing too much energy on work or school or sports or any activity that is causing our life to not be balanced spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So please embrace balance in your life and your eating disorder recovery today. Thank you.